Hey guys, it's Critical Redemption, aka Cash, here with another movie review. This time I'll be reviewing Spider-Man 3. I promised I would review it in my last review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate the comments and feedback. So let's get into Spider-Man 3. And a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me or agree with me, but this is my opinion, and so let's start with the review. I want to talk about the failing of this movie. The great failing of Spider-Man 3 is that it failed to distract me from like a sap Peter Parker and what he was. Like, Peter Parker lingers so long over the dopey romance and between Peter and the long-suffering Mary Jane. I found myself asking the question a lot, could a whole movie about the relationship between these two 20-something-year-olds be possible for like a Spider-Man 3 movie? No, that's my answer. Because today audiences would never accept a hero so clueless and I don't understand this movie. I mean, it goes from one thing to another, and it isn't a little unusual purpose for marriage after sharing only one kiss, and that one is the previous movie, an upside down kiss. Faithful readers will recall that I found Spider-Man 2 2004 the best superhero movie since Superman in 1978 and Michael Keaton's Batman in 1989. But I made that mistake of declaring that was because the movie demonstrates what's wrong with a lot of other superhero epics. They focus on the superhero powers and shortchange of the humans behind them. Like this time, I desperately wanted Peter Parker to be shortchanged. What I mean by that is, if I argued earlier that Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent were boring human beings, I had no idea how Peter would begin to wear on my nerves. And what's with Mary Jane? She's beautiful, somewhat talented actress, good enough to start in Broadway musical, obviously, and she has to put up with being trapped in a taxi suspended over 80 stories in the air by alien spiderwebs, aka Venom. The other thing I want to talk about is the unique quality of the classic comic books was that their teenagers had ordinary adolescent insecurity, but if you are still dangling in taxi cabs at age 20, you're still a slow learner. If there's a Spider-Man 4, and probably there wouldn't be, how about giving Peter and Mary Jane at least the emotional complete of a soap opera characters? If Juno met Peter Parker, she'd have him for breakfast or some crap like that. Superhero movies and Bond movies live and die by their villains. Spider-Man number 2 had the super Doc Ock, aka Alfred Molina, who is right up there with Goldfinger and the Joker in the supervillain hall of infamy. I mean, he had a personality. In Spider-Man 3, we have too many villains, too little infamy. Take this for example. Sandman Thomas Hayden Church. As he escaped con and murder of Uncle Ben, he has little interest at best, and as Sandman, he is absurd in my opinion. Recall Doc Ock climbing buildings with his fearsome mechanical tentacles, and now look at the dust storm. He forms from heaps of sand into a creature that looks like a snowman for one point, left standing till late in the season. He can have holes blown into him with handguns, but then somehow regains the bodily integrity to human buildings. How does that make sense? And how does he feel in there? Molina's always let you know how Doc Ock felt with a vengeance. Then there's the black microorganism from outer space from outer space, which is not a villain, but once in the movie he arrives on Earth in a meteorite that lands on maybe 20 yards from Peter and Mary Jane when they're kissing in the spiderwebs. But the impact somehow escapes notice by the fabled Spidey sense that Peter has. Then it produces little black beasties that look like squids across lineared rope. They not only coat people with a weight of cool, black, glossy second skin, but specialize in spray-painted Spidey and Spidey wannabes. No extras, nothing. We know that Spider-Man's powers do not reside in his red suit, obviously, which lies in a suitcase under his bed. So how do you fake Spideys like Venom gain their powers when they're covered in black substance? That doesn't make any sense to me. And that's one thing I'd probably argue about. And how does a microorganism from outer space know how to replicate the intricate pattern work of a spider costume? How does he know how to do that? Right down to the chest decoration. I mean, many people will probably disagree with me, but that's my opinion, like I said. And to what purpose from the evolutionary point of view? And what good luck in that microorganism getting Peter's rival photographer, aka Eddie Brock, to infect him to become Venom? And how does Eddie know who he has become? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. They just kind of threw it in there without any cause. Another villain, Harry Osborn, aka New Green Goblin, played by James Franco, son of interesting original William Dafoe, known as the Green Goblin, and Old Gobby. With the first Green Goblin, had the usual supervillain motivations of envy, twisted abilities, and vengeance, and he wants just to kill everything. His son is merely very angry and under the misinterpretation that Peter, aka Spidey, murdered his old dad. And then Peter and Harry have a fist fight when they should be doing Spidey and Goblin stuff. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Yes, there's some nice special effects in the movie, don't get me wrong. I like the collapsing construction crane sequence between Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy, but the damsel in distress this time was not Mary Jane, but Gwen Stacy. The sexy lab partner Peter has somehow neglected throughout the movies, and not to mention Mary Jane causing her heartbreak because of a civic ceremony. He kisses her with the kiss they had in the first movie, the upside down one. Note, while Peter goes through a period of microorganism infection, he combs his hair forward and struts like the streets and attracts admiring glances from every pretty girl on the street and feels like he's hot stuff. Wait until he discovers sex. I don't like the emo Peter Parker. I never liked it. When I first saw him dancing like a moron on the street, I was kind of like, what? This is a short mess. Too many villains, too many pale plot strands, too many romantic misunderstandings, too many conversations, too many street clouds looking high into the air and shooting, oh, this way, the swirling shouting, ah, the where Peter plans to propose to Mary Jane, kind of confusing. A movie is in the trouble when a climatic romance scene of the entire series is stolen by the waiter Bruce Campbell. And poor Aunt May, aka Rosemary Harris, an actress of Harris ability, asking to deliver a one-note performance as a single note is devastating to me. How could Sam Raimi have gone so right with Spider-Man 1 and 2 and have gone so wrong with Spider-Man 3? Did the $250 million budget paralyze him by any chance? That's your opinion. Has the series grown too heavy on its feet? How many times can he essentially have the same romantic scenario repeated and repeated? How many dangling in the air and saving the girl, damsel in distress, can he do? How does the Spidey keep his identity secret anyway from many of his family members and his close friends? I mean, for the most part, I enjoyed Spider-Man 3 just because it's Spider-Man, Sam Raimi. I like Tobey Maguire back as, Peter Parker. Harry Osborn, aka James Franco, he does a fantastic job. I just don't like the New Goblin. I don't like the emo Peter. And I hate that there's so many villains in this. Sandman, New Goblin, and Venom. One more thing I want to talk about is Venom. Topher Grace, I can't see him as Eddie Brock. I apologize for that. In the comics and in the animated series from the 90s, even my friend Tim would agree with me that Eddie Brock is supposed to be a muscular guy, and here they got him really skinny. I understand in Ultimate Spider-Man he was really skinny, but I just don't like how they made him become Venom so quick. When, like I said before, how does he know he becomes Venom? I don't know. It's just weird. It doesn't make any sense to me. But overall, this movie, 5 out of 5 stars doesn't really work for me. I'd probably have to give it 2.5 stars, believe it or not. That's my opinion. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my review and just all straight out honest opinion. So this has been Cash with another movie review, and I'll be reviewing Daredevil next for my friend Gregatron, so make sure to stick out for that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out and have a good one, guys.